All right. All right. We're good to go. Thank you, Savannah, for that. You're the best. Okay, so we're gonna get this Zoom call started tonight. Sorry for a couple minutes late, guys. Totally okay. We're not gonna take super long tonight anyway. So we're actually gonna be talking about one of my favorite topics that I have talked to so many people about this month and last month and the month before, is setting goals and goal setting. Okay. So first of all, I wanted to share a couple of things with you guys, and then I have 3 tips myself. And then I think Mandy is just going to spin off of what I'm saying. I just dropped my notebook. Sorry, guys. When it comes to setting goals, okay, just to start this off, I want to kind of share this with you guys. I share this with a lot of my new girls, because a lot of my new girls, when they first come in, they're not really sure what it looks like to set goals, especially when you come from a 9-to-5 job. It's hard, right? Because you're not used to thinking outside of the box. I know for me, I came from working 2 jobs in the medical field, and I worked 80 hours a week. I thought that was going to be my life for the rest of my life. I had no idea what it looked like to dream bigger. I had no idea what it looked like to pay my bills on time. I had no idea that my life could be more than just going to work all day, coming home, relaxing, watching Netflix for a little while, and then going to sleep and getting up to do it all over again the next day, right? None of us really knew that before we got started, right? And maybe you did, maybe you're just different, whatever. But when it comes down to it, if you come into this business and you say, well, I don't know what I want to do. Like, I know I want to do this business. I know I want to make money. And I ask you, well, why do you want to make money? And you can't answer that. It's kind of like saying, I want to take a trip, Chelsea, but I have no idea where I want to go, right? We need to know exactly where you're going, because how are we supposed to find a path or find a map for you when you have no idea what you're doing or why you're even here, right? So whatever I get people started, I usually ask them, why exactly do you want this? Why exactly do you want to make extra money? What is lacking in your life, or what is something that you want more of in your life that you're not getting with what you're doing right now, or that you can't get with what you're doing right now? And that's a question that I had to ask to myself like 50 times before I actually came up with a real serious answer. Guys, when I first got started, my priorities were like all over the place. I was young. I was a new mom. I had never gone to college. I never knew what it looked like outside of high school. And I kind of just talked my way through high school. So I didn't really know what it looked like to set a goal or have a dream or know where I'm really going. And I didn't even know what it looked like to really budget or anything like that, because I was never taught these things. And so when I came in, I had to ask myself over and over and over again, where do you really want to go with this? And at first it was, well, I want a new vehicle because I know mine's breaking down and I need something new. Right. But it kind of just slipped my mind that like I was behind on every other bill that I had. So I had to figure it out. I had to find out really what emotions were going through my head every single day, what I was lacking in my life, and what I wanted more or needed more of in my life. And it all boiled down for me to, I want to feel security. I want to feel like I can actually pay my bills on time and not have to struggle or not have to worry about having to put aside my light bill just so that I can pay my phone bill for a month, or putting aside my mortgage so that I can, pay my internet bill. I didn't want to have to do that anymore. And I wanted to be able to have it all. I wanted to do it all. And I knew that this business could bring me to that, because I had seen so many other women do the same exact thing. So making sure that you know exactly where you're going is super important. And that's why we're doing this Zoom call, is so that you can come up with a plan for yourself of, where am I heading? So we're not saying, hey, let's take a trip, and then kind of going around in circles, round and round and round until we burn out, because that's what's going to end up happening. We have to find out exactly where you're going. So, this is my point A, and here is my point B, and this is how I get from point A to point B, right? And then you just follow it. And so I've got some great tips that come along with this. And so the first one, I'm just going to bullet point these, guys. If you want to write them down, absolutely write them down. Mandy, can you write Tanya really quick and just let her know that Savannah is on, because I was like freaking out at first. So she's
probably, I got it.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Okay. So step 1, into goal setting for myself, I want to make sure that I have long-term and short-term goals. So for me, it made sense for me to have a visual in front of me. So I created a dream board for myself that literally sits in my kitchen so I can consistently see it every single day when I walk past it. So I'm being reminded nonstop, okay, Chelsea, here's where you're going within the next 3 to 6 months, but here's where you're going within the next 3 to 6 years. Okay. Because I know that there's going to come a time where I'm going to meet every single short-term goal that I have, right? I've been there before. I've already done that. My short-term goal is to make an extra couple hundred just so I could pay a couple of bills, and I did that. And so I was like, okay, well, what's the next one? Right. So I had to make sure that I had that dream board. So I knew what's my next step. What do I really want next? What's really going to make me feel good? What's going to make me happy? What's going to settle and ease our minds? And so I have that all written down, guys. And I have it literally written out, and I have it on, I took pictures and I printed them off, and I like wrote it, and it's all over my kitchen. Another great idea with your dream boards is to do them with your family, because ultimately you get started in this business for your family and yourself. So if you have kids, if you have a spouse, they want to feel included in this. And if they don't feel included in it, they're going to feel like you're doing it, but you're not doing it for them, or you're not doing it with them. They need to know that you're doing this not just for yourself, but you're doing it for them. So it might require you to take a little bit more time for this, right? And so if they're included in that goal setting with you, they're going to feel like they're a big part of it. So we do it with our kids. My daughter literally picked out a couple of things she told me she really badly wanted, short-term and long-term, and she had me print it out. And now it's on our dream board in our kitchen. So I know that I'm fighting for it, not only for myself, but for her too. Same with, Matt, we've had so many conversations. Matt's my fiance, if you guys didn't know. We have had so many conversations about where we're going in our life. And it's very, very important that we do this with our spouse and make sure that they know, like, this is what I'm really fighting for, because there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs, there's going to be hard times, there's going to be times where you're going to have to take a little more time for your business. And then there's going to be other times where they're going to end up being able to understand why you're working so hard, right? So they need to know what the ending goal is. So we have these conversations about where we're heading in our life and what exactly we want. And then I write it down on a little index card I got at the Dollar Tree. I cut it in half so it's a little bit smaller, and I put it up on my wall so that I have it right in front of me. And sometimes it's a certain income goal. So I'll take that income goal that I want, I'll write down exactly why I want that underneath it, and I will put it up on my wall as well. So that's another great thing to do. And I know that, there's girls that have come on my team who maybe you couldn't get a poster board, or you couldn't go get I know that there's been girls who haven't been able to get a printer so they can print things out. Guys, a dream board is as easy as taking one piece of paper, cutting it into like 12 different little squares, and writing out what you want on it. Like, I don't even care if you have to take paper towels. I don't care if you have to use freaking toilet paper. Like, do whatever you have to do to make sure you have a visual for yourself all over your house, whether it be in one spot or someplace that you know that you go every single day. Another thing that I see a lot of girls on my team do is they write on their bathroom mirror. They'll write on any mirrors that they walk past throughout the day. So go get a dry erase marker. They're literally $1 at the Dollar Tree. Go scrounge up some change and make that happen for yourself so you can write it down for yourself, because when you keep seeing that, it's going to keep pulling you towards it, because you need that visual. So that's number one. Number two, don't be afraid to be specific. This was something that April Jennings said to me at the start of my business, and I didn't even know what she meant, but I'm going to explain it to you guys. Okay. So when I first started, for the first 6 months of my business, I did nothing. And a lot of you guys know this story. I literally sat in my business. I did absolutely nothing. And I kept saying, well, why am I not going anywhere? Why am I not going anywhere? Over and over and over again. And I didn't realize that the biggest reason why I wasn't going anywhere is because I wasn't getting specific enough with my goals. So I was telling myself that I wanted a new truck. I was telling myself that I wanted to be able to go on trips, and I wanted to be able to, pay my bills, but I didn't have it specifically written down. Guys, I didn't even know how much debt I was in. I had no idea how much, how many or how much my bills were every single month. I had no idea the total amount. And so when we say you need to get specific, I'm talking, go take a piece of paper tonight when we get off this call. Write at the top of it your monthly bills. Okay. Write down every single bill. Your light bill is how much. Your mortgage is how much. Your maybe you're paying off a credit card. How much is it every single month to pay that off? How much extra do you want to put on it, right? How much, like we're building an addition on our house right now. It costs a lot of money, right? I have to make sure that every single month I'm budgeting in how much I have to pay someone to come out and build my addition for me. So I'm budgeting that in every single month, making sure that I have that consistent visual. And guys, it's okay if you want to take it, write it down and put it on your fridge one time and walk past it every single day. But I am telling you right now, one of the biggest game changers I made for myself is taking that down every single month and rewriting it for myself, because it is constantly embedded into my head. Okay, we take that down and we put something brand new up. Here's your new goal. We take that down, we put something else up and we write it down. You know, we make sure that I'm writing it down every single month just to make sure that it's consistently at the forefront of my brain, so that I know that this is what I'm fighting for. And I get emotionally attached to that on the first of every single month, just by putting the pen to the piece of paper and making sure that I write it down. One of the things that I learned in my business too, and you will hear this from so many leaders, that you are 10 times more likely to actually accomplish your goal or your dream if you actually write it down on a piece of paper. So making sure that you're writing it down. And I know that a lot of you guys journal. I journal too. I know Tanya does too. Writing it down every single day. We're not just doing that for nothing. We're not just doing that just for fun because we like to do that and it feels good. We're doing that because you're more likely, it is statistically proven. Okay, I almost stuttered there. Statistically proven that it will actually happen if you keep writing it down over and over and over again, because you are putting it into your brain and it is fresh, and you will literally go where you focus your brain. So making sure that you're writing that down is extremely, extremely important. Knowing how much debt you have to pay off, like asking yourself, how much do I have to pay off? If you don't know that answer, girlfriend, you better go look it up. You better go check it out, because we are a company that is debt free and we are all going debt free. So we need to make sure that we know exactly to the penny how much we need to pay off. We need to make sure that if you're looking to pay your bills residually, or maybe you have a couple bills you're just looking to pay for, maybe you're brand new and you just want to make enough to pay your light bill, right? Go look and find out how much your light bill is every single month. If your light bill is X amount and this month and X amount that month, okay, round up. Look at the average. How much is it normally, right? I normally round up myself just to make sure I can cover it, just saying. But, you know, make sure that you're doing that. Make sure that you're writing your bills down every single month. If you want enough money next month to go get your nails done, okay, treat yourself to it. It's okay to do that, right? But you have to make sure that you write it down, that that's what you're doing. Because if you don't, you're not going to make enough to do that. So you want to make sure that you are writing that down. Once you write it down, you can come up with a plan. Okay. And so this is why goal setting is so important, is because, like I said, you can't say, I want to take a trip, but have no idea where you're going, because there's no way that you can go type in nothing into the Google Maps app and have something come up. There's going to be no map. There's going to be no plan that even comes up just by you typing in a period, right? So you want to make sure that you go ahead and write it out for yourself. And then once you write it down, get with your leaders, get with your enroller, go look it up on YouTube, how to get from point A to point B, and make sure that you know, okay, how many fast start bonuses do I need this month? How much residual income do I need this month to make these things happen? Once you figure that out, then you know exactly how many loyal customers you need. Then you know how many distributors you need. And I write these things down. So this is why I say be specific, because when you know an exact dollar amount that you need to make this month or next month or the month after or the month after, you know then like what rank you need to hit, or what dollar amount you need your paycheck to be. And then you can create a plan from there and say, okay, if I know that I need to get to this rank, how many distributors do I need to get to this? And how many loyal customers do I need to get to this? Guys, I take that number and I literally put it on my fridge on a whiteboard in my kitchen, and my entire family sees this and holds me accountable. I look right at Matt every single day and I say, I need you to push me to get this. I need you to tell me to get this, right? And if you don't have someone who can do that for you, set alarms on your phone so that it consistently goes off. And when your phone lights up, it says you got 10 loyal customers to get, right? If you do that, you're going to consistently have that at the forefront of your brain, and you're going to want to work for it because you're going to know exactly what you're working for, and you're going to start feeling that. Another great thing that I think that the other girls are probably going to talk about is journaling with this. It's really important to feel your emotions wrapped around goal setting and things like that. So making sure you're doing that. And then the third thing, lastly, make sure that you have a growth mindset wrapped around your goals, because sometimes you're not going to want to feel like it. You're going to feel like you want to be lazy some days. You're going to feel like, oh man, I just want to sit around. Oh man, I don't really want to get on social media, or I don't want to send those messages out. Like, I don't even want to look at my phone. I have a headache, and then your brain starts coming up with reasons why you can't instead of reasons why you can. Guys, if I only worked my business when I wanted to, I would work 0. Okay. None of us want to come in and say, oh yeah, I'm looking to go, get 5 people who tell me no today. Right? No, I show up for that ending goal. I don't show up because I wanted to be a network marketer. Right? I show up because I wanted the things that are on my dream board, and I want those things that are written on my fridge, and I want the things that are written on my mirror. And so that's what I'm showing up for. So making sure that you understand that some days you're going to have to stretch yourself. And that's what comes with that goal. If you want all the good and you want all these goals to be met, you have to take the bad with it too. You have to understand there's going to be some hard days. You have to understand there's going to be some days where you want to be lazy. There's going to be days where you're going to feel like, man, everything's coming crashing down. But you have to have your eyes so focused on the ending prize that nothing's going to break you from that. That you are literally getting the job done. Ask yourself the question, am I doing it or am I not doing it? Okay. Understand there is no gray area whatsoever. This is called making a decision. You have to make a decision for yourself once you set your goal. It's either a yes, I'm doing it, or a no, I'm doing it. And nothing's going to stand in your way. There is no like, I don't know, but it's a little scary, right? We all get there. I get it. I get those feelings too all the time. It's a little scary all the freaking time, especially leading a lot of girls. Like, wait till you get up to the higher ranks. It's terrifying some days, but I do it anyways because I focus so much on those goals that me and my daughter built together, right? We wrote it down together. I focus so much on Matt and I and our goals and where we're headed and how I'm going to feel when that happens. So I make sure that I focus, and being intentional towards those goals is definitely going to make it a lot easier to set new ones and make sure that you feel good once you hit them. So that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to turn it over to Mandy actually next. So you can go ahead and mute yourself, and I will mute myself.
Hello. There was so much of that I related to, because you guys, when I first started this, I'm just going to talk about my story really quickly to cast this vision. I started my business, it'll be 5 years this month, and I just wanted to pay for gas and groceries, but I still didn't know exactly how much that was. I didn't realize that I had $50,000 in debt. And for so long, I actually posted, oh yeah, I paid off $30,000 in debt. No, it was like more like 50 when I sat down and thought about it. But I do the same thing with that Chelsea was saying about writing down your budget and knowing exactly where you're going. And I've said this 1,000 times as well. It's exactly the same. If you don't know how much debt you have, you're not going to be able to pay it off. If you get in a car and say, I'm going for a drive, because I've done this, I drive around the block and I come back home again, because you have no exact plan of where you're going. So setting out the start of the month, knowing exactly, I'm pretty much the same thing as what Chelsea said, knowing exactly how much you need, what bills you have, and how you're going to get there. I know that my team and I sell a lot of samples. We don't have the sample app, but I set that goal. What was that? What's the word? Plot twist. I might be in a house in the next couple of months, and I know that that's probably going to be about $700 a month that I need to come up with that money. And that's the residual income that Chelsea was saying about. How much do you need weekly? How much do you need monthly? How much do you want in fast start bonuses? So you guys know I live in a van at the moment, so I don't have a printer, and I have got some things stuck on the wall, but I have my my dream board as the background of my phone. I know that I want to make $10,000 a month, and this is a few things that it's going to pay for. So I have that so that every time I open my phone, you guys, I'm very blue. I was just talking to Chelsea about this morning, but I did it, and my team did the Enneagram test so that I could learn a little bit more about everyone and how we all learn. And I'm a 7, and my brain goes a million miles an hour. So when I have a lot of hours in the day, I feel like I need to spend, if I've got like nothing on that day and I'm not spending time with anyone, then I should be working my business 17 hours a day. And the truth of it is you don't need to do that. Yesterday was a perfect example. I signed a distributor. I got up a ton of host posts. I got a ton of potential customers, and I was spending time with my person. I was driving for an hour. I was doing all of this stuff, and it really just brought me back to the fact that, Mandy, you don't have to be on your phone all the time. And I don't know, some of you guys might be stay-at-home mums, maybe some of you guys work, but when I started this, I was on work cover, so I was in and out of hospital. And when I was awake from surgery or like awake from the pain medication, I was always on my phone, but I wasn't intentional. So I have that saved as a phone, like as a lock screen on my phone. So I know that if I'm on my phone, what am I doing? And I've been using, and I've shared this with my team, I've been using April's little hour list, the task list she's done, and then I do extra as well. Like I know for myself that as long as I am in my messenger every single day, then I am getting somewheres. And I know what Chelsea was saying in regards to like not feeling like it. There's so many times when I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I tell myself that like that end goal of me making $10,000 a month is going to mean that I can do X, Y, Z, then it's going to be worth it at the end of the day. And I know that if at the very least I get 25 messages or 30 messages out for the business, then I know that little bit of effort is going to compound over time. Like I worked it out this morning on my Zoom with my girls. If you message 25 people about the business every day for 4 weeks, there's 700 people you've talked to. 700 people. And sure, a lot of them are probably going to say no, a lot of them are going to ghost you, but they will start watching you, which is why it's so important for you guys to plant those seeds. So I don't know if you guys know who Taylor Kaufman is. I was able to get on a Zoom with her the other day, and she runs her own little boutique, but she had a lot of girls that she signed on Instagram that were not willing to get Facebook for whatever reason. So she has a page on Instagram that's basically a tool for all her distributors. And I found it the other day, and it was a content creation like calendar. And sometimes I think a lot of newbies get really stuck. Like, what are we going to post about? Like, I don't have some big story why, or I can't say that I've paid off all this debt, or that I've brought my husband home, or that I'm able to do all these things with your kids. What I want you guys to know is that you have a goal while you started, right? So you can talk about, you know, come XYZ amount of date, like I am going to have paid off this debt, or, you know, this is going to be my full-time income by XYZ. I actually shared this post with my team the other day, and I was like, in 6 months time, we're going to be triple diamond. And every single one of us can post about that because we're all a part of making it happen. So whatever it is for you or for your team, like cast that vision. Sorry, I like went away from my notes. Cast the vision on your social media, because people are going to be drawn into that. So you have no idea. I made this post a little while ago, and I literally just took a picture of like the dash of my van. And I said 5 years ago, I couldn't even put $10 worth of fuel in here. And now I can fill it up over and over and over again. This thing like chugs fuel so much. And I got more potentials from that post than I ever did from saying I paid off $50,000 worth of debt, because people can't relate to that. People can relate to gas and groceries and ice cream dates with your kids and date nights with your spouses. Yes, okay, we want to pay off that big amount of debt, but you have hope now and you have these goals now. So share that with social media, because you're going to draw those people in, and cast that vision for your team so they know that they're a part of something and where you're going. The other thing that I just made dot points as well. Plan content. I normally do that. I'm like very sporadic as well. So sometimes I'll plan my posts, sometimes I don't. Have your 4-in-1, the new Fast Start program thing. If you can get it printed, print it out. If you have to draw it. I have an iPad, so I've like uploaded it onto the Good Notes app, so that you can write it in. Make sure that you're filling it in. You know exactly how many times you want to do that every month. I know for me, with this new program, because that forces us to really take care of our people, I'm only taking on 3 people this month. So I've pulled up that sheet in my folder 3 times. I know exactly how many times I need to fill it out. And then the other thing I was going to say when Chelsea was talking about it is, I took a long time to know my why. So you always have to plan that goal ahead. And I didn't do this when I went diamond. You're going to start for a small amount, and then you're going to hit that, and you need to set another goal, and you always need to have those goals ahead of you. But you guys, I went diamond last June, and I like completely lost myself because I didn't keep dreaming. I didn't know where I was going next. And so take this from me, don't do what I did, and have that next goal ahead, whether it's a next rank, it's a next income goal, maybe it's you want to get a new car. You know, you're able to cover your phone bill now. Now the next thing you want to get is a new car, or you want to get a new phone, or whatever it is, but keep that goal ahead in front of you all the time. If you're in a house, like Chelsea was saying, have it on your fridge, have it on your mirror, have it at the back of the toilet door if you need to, have it in your lounge room, and cast that vision with your team as well, so that and your family, so that you know that, and they know why you're doing it and where you're going.
Sorry. Okay, so that was so good. And I wanted to kind of touch base super, super quick on Mandy, what you had said about casting vision, because I know we have a lot of new girls on here, and like we can say that, oh yeah, we have enough. Like I know, like I used to not be able to afford this gas, and now I can. Like we can say that, right? But what about our new girls, right? So whenever you're a new girl, right, like someone who just gets started in their business, I say new girl, think about where you're going. So you don't technically have to say like, oh, I'm making this much money, or like I'm so happy that I can do this now, right? Because we don't want to lie to people, but we do want to project. I almost said reject. We do want to project where we're going. So instead of saying something like, I'm so thankful and I'm able to afford this now, put up a post on Facebook saying, filling my gas tank today, and I can't wait until I don't have to worry about how much I'm putting in, or I can't wait because soon I'm going to be able to fill my gas tank instead of just putting $20 in, and my business is going to pay for it, right? It's a little scary to say that because we don't know what's going to happen in the future, right? But one thing that I do know is that if you don't give up and you stay consistent in your business, and you consistently work your business and show up for it, no matter who's working with you, above you, below you, you're going to get there, because that's the people who make it, are the people who take quitting off the table. So understand that you can put those things out there, like they are going to be your reality. That's just you casting your own vision onto your Facebook and social media. And that's how you attract your new distributors into your life. Because I can guarantee you that there's so many people on your Facebook who are struggling to pay their gas right now, and they want to be able to pay their gas in full. And you've got the magic business that literally they can show up in and work their butts off right alongside you, and they can make that money to put that in their tank. So super important to understand that it's okay that you don't have a super huge story. Go on and share it. Like, this is where I'm headed. Talk about your goals openly on social media, because people need to relate to you back to where you started, but they need to know where you're going. And that's what she's talking about when she's saying goal casting is so important. So, with that being said, I think Tanya was going to go next.
Hey. So first off, thank y'all for freaking like putting this together, because today did not go planned at all. First off, guys, drop me a 1 if you had a mini heart attack thinking Facebook had freaking put you in Facebook jail today. Because let me tell you, when around like 11:30, when I was, logging in to do a few messages, I couldn't get in. And then anyways, just we all couldn't get in. But I literally was like, oh my gosh, did like my account get shut down? Because then Messenger, not only can I not get in, it kicked me out completely. And then Instagram wasn't working. I was like, what the heck? And then finally Savannah's like, hey, by the way, like I can't listen to your voice message because Facebook's not working. And then I Googled it and it said that like Facebook had a breach or whatever. And I was like, good. Like I thought it was just me. So I want to share a little tip that has nothing to do with goal setting, but this just happened this week. So Instagram now, when you put a reel on Instagram, it also shares it to Facebook because Facebook's trying to push out reels. So it'll ask you, like, can we share this to Facebook also? And what they do, it shares it to Facebook with your Instagram handle. I've gotten 15 new followers in the last 24 hours just from that. So just if you're consistent with posting reels, you'll notice it. If you're not, I would highly recommend doing it. I just got another lead from someone who saw it on Facebook, came over, and now she is asking about the business and like what I do for work. So I'm going to be posting, needless to say, I'm going to be posting a few more reels than I have been. I was going to say something else about that. Oh, so typically my reels get anywhere from like 2,000 to 3,000 views on them. Not crazy whatsoever. But the first one I posted that they shared to Instagram or shared to Facebook was yesterday. And I already have, probably should have looked this up. I want to say it was over 5,000. That's what it was. I was gonna check it and then I couldn't because it wasn't working. Yeah, so it's at 5,296 views, which is not normal for me. And then typically when I post like it's just a straight product video, like I post a video making my coffee, I get like 300 or 400 views because it's like a straight product video. The one I posted yesterday morning has 2,200 views on it. And there's 7 people asking for info on the coffee that aren't following me on Instagram yet. So just a tip, because I didn't know they were doing that. And I don't think it's open to everyone, but it's open to most people. Because I have an account that I just started for the boutique that has like 15 followers. And it gave me the option to do it with that one also. So it's not just like big creators. It literally is anybody. So there's a tip. I want to share my screen because I love, Chelsea, that you talked about the dream board and having your kids do it. Because I had mine do one 2 years ago, but it was more like an affirmation board than really a dream board. Now I realize that. At the time I was like, it was a dream board. It was a dream board kit that I bought. Because I didn't really know how to do one with her, I guess. So this year I'm going to have her do an actual one with me. Guys, if you're on my team, I've already announced it like a month ago. We're doing a dream board party in December. If you're not on my team, I'm sure Chelsea and Mandy are doing one also. I don't know if they've announced it yet because I tend to be way ahead on these things. But I announced it because I want y'all to have plenty of time to get some supplies, print some pictures. There's an app called Free Prints that if you have an iPhone, will print 10 free pictures a month, I believe, or maybe it's 100, I don't remember, but it's free. All you pay for shipping and it's like $2. So it's free pictures. And it'll give you time to like go to the dollar store and get a couple things if you want to. Again, Chelsea said it, you don't have to make it fancy, but just from personal experience, like if I like looking at it, I'm going to look at it more typically. But I want to share my screen and show you. Now I did drop a link in the chat. Save it to your phone because we had already taken a whole bunch of dream boards and put them together to show you guys. So you can link over to that and you can see all the dream boards. And I did one last year in a notebook that was like a flip board as well. So you can get as fancy as you want. I'm going to show you the first one that I did. Ooh, why is no one telling me that my hair is looking funky, y'all? I've been in and out of the rain all day, so don't judge. I'm looking, there we go. We're on the wrong side. I'm looking real weird today. Let's see. So the first dream board that I did, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have a printer. I had no way of getting any kind of materials really, but I did have a poster board from my student teaching days because I wasn't that far out of college when I did this. And I took some screenshots of Chelsea. This is it. Literally, it's a poster board. I had a black and green marker and I had some like little jewel things from, I don't know, they were in a craft box. So you can't see them that well. I think if I zoom in, yeah, you can. So I just took a hot glue gun and I glued all of these little like gems around it. Y'all, it looked cute. Now let me tell you, I hung this on my wall. The little crystal things were always falling off. And we lived in a like pretty rundown apartment. So it's just tile floor. But I was always sweeping these things up. But it was cute. And you know what? It was inspirational to be able to look and see the things and cross them off as I was hitting them. So stick a few pieces of paper together, that poster board cost me 33 cents from the dollar store. Like it was not anything fancy. So like Chelsea said, make one regardless. If you're like, well, I can't afford to, you know, be fancy with it. I don't have a printer. Write some things down, put some glitter glue on it. If you've got some glitter glue in one of your kids' craft boxes, maybe you've got some like those little pom-pom things that's super popular right now, some freaking googly eyes. I don't care. Put some stuff on there that makes it excited for you to look at them. Now originally I was going to talk to y'all about how to evaluate yourself, which I'll show you just a quick picture of that. I'm not going to explain it because I already did a video on it. And again, I linked it in there for you guys to go watch because it's free. I'm a very firm believer in like not repeating myself. If it's already on a video, you might as well go watch the video. So I'm not wasting my time or yours because some of y'all already watched the video. So it would be kind of rude for me to just do it again. And some of y'all haven't, which is fine. So if you want to go watch it, you can. I'm just going to open my thing. Maybe. There we go. Just so I can show you the page. So you're literally, and I do this every single month, I evaluate, there we go. I literally just evaluate myself. It's called a monthly assessment. I didn't make this up. I got it from some kind of dream workbook, I'm sure, a planner book or something. But you just rate yourself in different areas. And again, the video explains exactly how to do that. And then the other thing that I do is make sure that I set up a daily task list for like specifically for business. So there you go. And same thing, if you want to take a screenshot of this, go for it. This is the planner that I created. So it is all linked, but I told everyone on the video, like if you don't want to order a planner, one of these planners, get a notebook. And this is what I did for a couple of years. Get a notebook and you can set up your own just in a notebook from the dollar store. Exactly set up with all your weekly stuff, your planner, your menu, whatever you want to include in it. So it doesn't have to be fancy, but you want to make sure that you have a list so you know what you're doing every day instead of waking up like, well, I'm going to work my business. I have 15 minutes, but like, I don't really know where to start. What am I going to do? So this is the list that I do. Everyone does a little differently, but again, the video does explain that. So y'all can check out the video yourself and do good with all that. So originally today, because I'd already done that video, I was actually going to just talk about like a small daily action list, which I still might if I have time. But today took a huge, huge curveball. So originally, my daughter and I, we like to do day dates, specifically shopping because I'm raising a monster, apparently, just like me. Her dad loves it. Like every time, it's like, Mom's going to take me shopping. And Dad's like, really? Like, does she need to go? Yes, she needs to go shopping. Every girl needs to go shopping. What are you talking about? She's like a little mini me. We were supposed to do it last week, and then my husband's trip got canceled because he was going to be out of town. So I was like, well, naturally, we'll take one of those days and go do a shopping day. And when I say a shopping day, we start at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we end at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. We hit like 15 different stores. We hit the mall. We come back with bags and bags and bags of things. So it was supposed to be last week and got canceled. Then it was supposed to be this coming Saturday. My husband was going to have some guys over and just have some fun with them. So I was like, well, I'll take her out for that day date I've been promising her. Well, last night, literally freaking 8 o'clock at night, he's like, hey, it's fell through. We're not going to be able to do it. Why don't you just switch the date to the day date to the 25th or something of October? That's when we're going to plan this. I was like, I really don't want to push it off again. I've been telling her we're going to like, and that's one reason that she is so well behaved when it comes to my work time, because she knows we're going to go do these like fun dates. If I keep pushing it off, eventually she's going to be like, well, you're never going to do it anyway. So why should I be good when you're on these dates? So I told him, I was like, I'm just going to take the car tomorrow and I'll do the date. So what I want to talk to you today is making sure because we're talking about planning, when an unexpected day comes up, or maybe you have super busy days all the time, because some of you do. When I started this, my days were always busy because I was working a lot of hours already. So it's important to plan those days and specifically plan when and what you're going to do work-wise. So what I did last night is I sat down and I just planned out pretty much, not really time so much, but like, okay, when we're done with this store, I know I'm going to go to this store. So I'm going to sit in the parking lot and I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes and do this, this, and this before we walk in. And I tell my daughter, she knows this, because you can work this business multiple different ways. I prefer to work 7 days a week, but only work 2 or 3 hours a day. Now, you can work 5 days a week and work longer hours, but just with our schedule, that's what fits for us. I don't like taking 2 or 3 actual days off because we homeschool and we do ministry and stuff. It's just easier for us to keep consistent schedules. So what I did is I sat down and I knew that we were going to drop my husband off, and then he works about 9 minutes from the beach. I was like, then I'm going to head to the beach and I'm going to do my journaling session, because I would much rather do it at the beach than do it in my office at 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's way more inspirational for me to do it while I'm sitting there, like looking over Lake Michigan at the Chicago skyline. Like, unless y'all know, you don't know how freaking gorgeous that is. Now today I couldn't see it because freaking rain clouds, but I still saw the water. So on the way to work, I knew that I was going to get in my team chat and let them know, like, hey, I'm not going to be on here hardly at all today, but I will be on the 7 o'clock Zoom. So make sure you're on the Zoom. And then I made sure and told Mandy and Chelsea, hey, this is happening. Can one of y'all run the Zoom? Made sure and touch base with Savannah. Hey, this is what's happening. Can you start it? And can you make sure it's recorded? And then I made sure I made up the graphic for the thing and I put it in there. So I already planned to communicate on the way to work, my husband's work, what was going on for the day. And then I also checked in with all of my new distributors and told them the same thing. So first thing is, if you're going to have a super busy day that's out of the norm, you need to make sure and communicate it with your team so you don't have people blowing your phone up, or you're not missing your own obligations that you set and just kind of like willy-nilly. Because I could have just as easily been like, oh, I'm going shopping, I'm going to cancel the Zoom tonight, when that would have not been the smartest thing to do, because it shows all my new distributors that I don't take this serious like a business. So we got to the beach, took a few pictures, because you always got to have the content. It literally took about 3 minutes, took some pictures. And then I sit down to start journaling and it starts pouring down rain. So I'm like, what the heck? So I grab all my stuff, we hop back in the car. And I was like, whatever, I'll just head to the first store. Not a huge deal. So part of this, I'm also going to talk to you about when your plans go up in the air, because then all of Facebook shut down as well. But we get to the first store. I set a timer for 15 minutes. I literally loaded a story, because I'm going to put stories up throughout the day. So my plan was, every parking lot we get to, going to set a timer for 15 minutes, going to ask 10 people to host a post, load a story, and return messages until my timer goes off. My goal was to be back here around 7 o'clock for the Zoom and be completely caught up on messages. And I've already asked 60 people to host a post. So that meant tomorrow I was going to have a crap ton of leads to go through. So after the first store, we decided to grab breakfast. So we sat down, ate our sandwiches, and my kid is like a freaking slow eater. So after we ate, she was still eating. She was like halfway done. And obviously I'm not going to sit and talk to her while she's eating. So I pulled my phone out and I returned a few more messages, because I knew I needed to return messages. Second store did my stuff. We went and we shopped for about an hour. Third store, sit down to do my stuff. And I'm like, Facebook's not working. Like, Messenger just booted me out. This is weird. I'm getting a little bit frustrated at this point. I'm like, whatever, I'm just going to head in, skip this session. And then the line was really long. So I was like, well, I'll return a few messages. Couldn't return the messages. So instead, I was like, well, it's useless to be frustrated at this point. So I literally typed out the training for this Zoom, because I was like, this is what I need to talk about. This happened for a reason. Everyone's going to have the super crappy days, because it happens to all of us. And it does no good to be frustrated about it. And this is when I thought for sure I was in like Facebook jail or something. So then I typed it out and then I switched over to my Instagram. I was like, well, I'll return a couple messages over there. And then that wouldn't work. So my brain was like, well, maybe there's a glitch or something. And right then Savannah was like, hey, I couldn't get your voice messages. Facebook's not working. And so I went on Google, and sure enough, like Facebook was just on the fritz. So then I was like, well, I have to kind of pivot, because now during my 15-minute work session, there's not really anything for me to do. But there was, because I could still update my hundreds list, which I had planned on doing after I got my husband from work. So I was like, well, I'm going to do everything I can that doesn't take Facebook and Instagram. So when they come back up, I have everything ready to go, that I can go follow up and do my host a post and all the stuff I had planned on doing. So I did that. And then I also did 10 minutes of journaling in the parking lot, because remember, I hadn't done it. And so my thought process was, if Facebook and Instagram is back up when we get to the mall and my daughter's in like the little play area that she wanted to go to, because that's when I plan to journal at that point. If they're back up, then my journaling will already be partially done and I can catch up on some of the stuff that I didn't get done on Facebook and Instagram. Now, obviously that didn't happen. So I finished journaling at the mall, and then Facebook and Instagram still wasn't up. My husband is playing tag with my daughter in the hallway. So then we went to the pet store because that was on our list to play with the puppies. Y'all do not judge me. We have no interest in buying a puppy, but we go every time we're on that side of town and we play with the puppies. I'm just saying, my kid loves animals. My husband's never going to let her get a dog. So we get our fix by playing with the puppies at the dang pet store. So we played with a cute little husky, and of course took a couple pictures because I'm going to be able to load them eventually, even if they're not till tomorrow. Like, they're still getting put up. Then I drove back to get my husband, and then on the way home, basically I just made sure everything for the Zoom was planned so we could get here and I could get on the Zoom. The only thing I left out is whenever I was on the way from his job, or the beach, I guess, to the first store, it's a 45-minute drive. So I did put an Audible book on also. Like, I had everything planned out of basically just maximizing the very small amount of time that I had. Now, obviously, I'm not caught up on messages. So if you're on my team, just know you're probably not getting responded till tomorrow, because I'm not staying up till midnight getting all my work done, because that's a sabotage on itself. And I didn't ask 60 people to host a post, but I did ask 25 before Facebook went on the fritz. So I'm pretty proud of that, because I stuck to my guns. So when Facebook did go crazy, I at least had some of the work done. And then I will stay up for 30 minutes after the Zoom and respond to as much as I can. And then I'm going to shut my phone off and go to bed, because I'm not getting up at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning if I don't actually go to bed tonight when I'm supposed to. And that's just, it's not going to happen. And we have another busy day tomorrow. So just to encourage y'all, if you have crazy busy days, you really do have to plan for the 15-minute segments of work. I know that sounds like it's a nightmare, and honestly, it kind of is. If you have my personality, I don't like working like that. I hated it when I was working full-time and having to do this around it. But if you can make yourself do it, sorry, I have like a super dry throat. Probably because I've had freaking like frozen lemonades and crap today. Not a lot of water. If you can make yourself do it and make yourself have the discipline to consistently do it, one day you'll have the freedom to not have to do it. Now, if you choose to do it, because I know Chelsea and Mandy sometimes choose to work like that, that's fine. Like, if you enjoy working like that, you can. But if you don't enjoy it and you want to just sit down and get the block done, sometimes, I'm hesitant to say it, but sometimes you have to earn that right. Sometimes you have to put the work in so you can earn the freedom to actually work this on your own schedule. I know we talked about it being on our own schedule, and it is if you don't have something else pulling at your time. But if you have a full-time job, honestly, like, that is your schedule. Someone else is already telling you where your time is going. So you have to fit this in basically when they say you can fit it in. And I'm not one of those people. My team, I've went on rants about this before, because I used to be the boss. I was the one that would hire you and fire you and write you up for being on your phone in the bathroom. I have never been one of those people that's like, oh, go take extra long bathroom breaks and message people. Y'all don't be stealing your employer's time. Not all about that, okay? If you do that, karma's going to come back at you, and you're going to have distributors that do some shady stuff underneath you, and you're not going to appreciate it. Just saying. So with the time, I will go ahead and go through the small daily action list, because what I do monthly is I have my monthly goal set, and some of it's for itworks. Some of it is for other business ventures that I do. Some of it's for homeschooling. Some of it's for personal growth. But basically what I do is I take my monthly list and I break it down into actions. So I'm just going to flip my screen again, because I purposely loaded these so I could actually show it to you. And you're probably going to want to come back and listen to some of this, because I know there's like a lot of meat to it and a lot of moving parts. So, and I just have this set up in my journal. Eventually, I am going to include this in the planner. Again, it's a brand new thing. It's going to take a while for a lot of kinks to be worked out on it. But for October, with the goals that I have for myself, I had it set out how many times I need to do certain things. Now, I don't have dates set by them. You could, but I know, for example, that I need to go live basically 4 times a week is my goal. Now, there's an extra Sunday in October when I include this, so I did 17 instead of 16. But I know if I need to go live 4 times a week, and I cross them off because I journal every day. So when I journal, this is the first thing I do is cross off some of my action steps. I can physically see if I'm on track or not. Because how many times do you tell yourself, I'm going to do this many times a week? And then Friday comes around and you haven't even done it once. And then you're like, but you feel like you're on track because you're not actually looking at it. And Chelsea said it with the loyal customers. That's something, it's not on this page, but on my actual journaling page, I count down from a certain amount of customers, because if I see it every day, it pushes me to actually put the work in. I was talking to Savannah last week. Last week. I sat down on the 30th of September, I think. And I hadn't journaled for 8 days, which means I hadn't looked at my goal for 8 days. And then it was like, well, duh, no wonder you're not enrolling. You don't even know where you're at. If someone comes to you and asks you, how many people have you enrolled this month? If you don't know, that's a red flag. I'm not saying this to be mean, but if you don't know where you're at, how do you know how close you are to where you want to be? There's no urgency there because you're just kind of like going through. So if someone asks me, hey, I know you wanted to go live this many times a week. How many times have you gone live this month? And I can't look somewhere and tell them an answer, then I'm doing myself a disservice because I don't freaking know. It's the same way with, hey, how many messages have you sent today? How many people have you asked to host a post? When you come to me and you're like, I'm not enrolling and I don't know why. How many people did you message yesterday? I don't know, but I messaged so many times. Well, that doesn't tell me anything. That's like when they say, well, I messaged for 5 hours. Well, clearly you didn't, or you would have someone enrolled, or you're not sending screenshots to your enroller like we preach over and over and over. So you're probably screwing up the actual message. So one or the other. Yeah, it was for me too, Chelsea. I knew that I was supposed to track things. It's just like tracking food. How many times do we tell ourselves, well, oh, I don't have to track my calories and I can still lose weight because I know I'm eating clean. Y'all, it don't freaking matter how clean your food is if you're eating 17 portion sizes in one sitting. And I'm preaching to myself there, like I am awful at that. Or if you're eating clean, but oh, look, I just had a Frappuccino that had, 1,300 calories in it, but I didn't track it because it had clean ingredients. Well, it also had a lot of whipping cream. So have fun with that. You're not going to lose weight. For me, now this was Chelsea's fault because I was doing 15-minute messaging sessions. But then what I would find is if I didn't have a whole 15 minutes, I would just skip it. So I switched because she talks about doing 5 minutes. So I switched to doing that. And I get a lot more messages sent out when I do 5 minutes. I guess it's just not intimidating or whatever. It can fit into smaller segments. So there are times when I leave church on first Sunday morning and I just message for the 5-minute drive. And then I get to cross off one of my messaging sessions. No, I've done one this month, but it's not marked on there. But my goal is to just do 2 of those a day. That's not a crazy amount. It's 10 minutes of messaging. Now that's not because I don't talk to a lot of people. I do 99% of my stuff in host to post. So don't think like, oh, she's just not even like working. The messaging is extra for me. It's not how I build my business, but I do know the importance of it. So I do make sure and I include it. I need to send out October birthday cards. Still, it's October 4th, y'all. But I didn't do them and I need to do them. I need to send out my November birthday cards. I try to sit down every Friday and do thank you cards. That's why I have 4 times sit down there. And then the reason I do that is because I sell samples of the energy sticks. So I try to send out the samples every Friday. So if I'm going to send them out, I might as well do the thank you cards for my customer while I'm doing them. I need to hire somebody to stuff my Thanksgiving, Christmas cards for my customers because I'm not doing that. My time is more valuable at this point. Now, if you're new in the business, it's probably not. Do it yourself. That's fine. But for me, it would take 5-6 hours to get all of them. I ordered them. I had them printed. I'm so proud of myself because I'm awful at that. But I'm not going to sit and do all the work for it. I'm going to give some teenager $50 and let them do it. Because in those 5 hours, I can make $150. So I'm not going to sit and use my time on a $50 project. Reels. My goal is 1 reel a day for the entire month of October. Now, again, I didn't journal on here today because I just didn't have the sheet up, but I'm on track for this. I've done 4 so far. So what that means is I also need to set up reels because they don't just magically come out of thin air. So 2 times this month, and I say TikTok create, I really mean reels. I post them on both, but TikTok doesn't get me a lot of traction yet. But that's just what I call it. So 2 times this month, I am gonna basically take an hour. It takes me about an hour to do 15 decent reels. And I'm gonna do 15 reels. 2 hours in a month to be able to post a reel every single day is not a lot, y'all. And then about 5 times I take and I edit those because, again, I'm not going to show you exactly how I do it because there's just not time, but I make the reel and then I go and like put the words and the music on it later. Bible is a personal thing. I want to do 10 different Bible study nights this month. Journaling, this journaling here, there's journaling and daily journaling. Journaling is like finance journaling, like writing a letter to yourself 10 years in the future, like more in-depth stuff that takes about an hour, hour and a half. I want to do 10 of those sessions this month. Daily journaling is just my daily stuff I've talked to y'all about a lot. New designs for my merch. I know I want to have 8 new designs up this month. So basically that's 2 a week. And so I just can kind of cross it off when I launch them. And it helps me to be able to see exactly what I need to do. The November planner, I need to add journal pages to. Other than that, the layout's done. I need to finish the December planner. I'm creating a 90-day lead book for you guys. So that's on there. PM for extra volume. Ideally, if you're interacting with all your customers every single month, at the end of every month, you should be able to pull in anywhere from $300, $400, $500, $600 in volume on the last couple of days because you've been creating a relationship. So if you look to the right, I'll just skip a few and then I'll come back. If you look to the right, it says interact and then January through January, basically, because I was behind last month. All I do on those is all of my customers and distributors from whatever month I'm on, I go and I like and comment on 2 or 3 of their posts and I send them a message and kind of talk to them about whatever they've been posting. If they're ordering new products, I'm talking to them about it. I'm literally just building a relationship. And I did this last August, so 2 months ago. I pulled in 300 volume the very last day of the month just from people who had not ordered because I spent the whole month building relationships with them. Now, obviously that takes a little bit of time, but it doesn't take as much time as you would think. To get an entire month of customers and distributors interacted with and message takes about 30 minutes. So I focus as much on that as I do getting new customers, because if I already did all the work to get a customer, I'm sure as heck not having to fall off. And I just had a lady message me. She is on month 9 of her auto ship. No, just kidding. Month 10 of her auto ship. And she's like, you said to message you when I had 12. I just want to let you know I'm 2 away. And I was like, crap. Because I know I basically am going to roll out like a new customer program for my own self, because the company it cuts off at 8 months. But I'm like, now I need to like brainstorm for that. So I will do that. And then back over, I have clean eating and intermittent fasting. Now I have day 4 and I haven't done that one day. So we're going to get back on track with that tomorrow. Water is just drinking 4 cups. I suck at water. So again, I need to track that. Some of y'all, you're real good at fitness. You don't even need to track this. No, this isn't stuff that I'm saying like, hey, you have to track all of this. This is to show you. Mandy's like, oh, I love how organized you are. Guys, if you have goals, you have to have a place to track them. And especially if you have big goals where you're doing more than 1 or 2 things, or maybe you're just doing itworks, but you're wanting to go to like presidential and ambassador, you have to have a benchmark for yourself. And I won't get all of this stuff done. I never do. I always, basically the rule is you'll hit 75% of the goal that you really push for. So if I'm only pushing, and I'm just going to like super, super dumb it down. If I'm only pushing for 30 customers, probably going to end up with what? I don't know what 75% of that is. 22, I think, 23. My math is probably not right on that. But if I'm pushing for 50 customers, and I'm actually pushing Like, I know how many messages I need to send. Like, don't just throw a number out there, because then you've got to have the action to back it up. So if you've never hit 4 customers in a month, your goal needs to be 6 customers this month. But I've had months of 70 and 80 customers. So to give myself a goal of 5 does not push me. So if I want 70 customers, my goal needs to be closer to 100, and I need to have the action behind that goal, because that's why you don't hit the goals, because you don't get all the action done. And then a Black Friday sale that I'm working on. I'm doing a loop giveaway page on Instagram, because I know I need to grow my Instagram a little bit better. So there's just different things that I have set up for the entire month. But it's not enough just to have the goal for the month. You have to have the action behind it, or you have no idea how to get to the goal, which Chelsea talked about, going from A to B. And I hope I didn't like redo a lot of your stuff, Chelsea, because I didn't get on to like 7 minutes after. So if I did, I'm sorry. Because I didn't hear the whole beginning of yours. Typically I like cross things off that you guys have already said. So, but having said all that, whatever your goal is, so if your goal is to lose 10 pounds this month, but you have no action steps leading to it, you're not going to lose 10 pounds this month. If your goal is to get that $5,000 Christmas bonus, and you don't even have a goal for yourself of how many freaking Zooms to be hopping on, you're not getting the Christmas bonus. Your goal needs to have like a road. Literally, it needs to have a road. I use a GPS for everything. I used a GPS today, and I still freaking took a wrong exit to get my husband from work, which I have driven there more times than I care to count, because I suck at driving. And I still took a wrong exit, and I ended up heading to Chicago, which is the opposite direction of Michigan City, which is where I was going, with a GPS. So if I'm going to get lost with a road map, I would have been freaking in Michigan had I not used a road map. And that's the same way with this business, guys. You're probably going to take some wrong turns. You're probably not going to hit all your goals, but you're going to hit more of your goal by checking off little things off your roadmap than if you threw your roadmap out the window and didn't even have one. So I feel like way more of my red came out in this than I had planned. Also my green, but like more of my red. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? That was definitely a lot of info, I'm sure. Yeah, doing your posts in advance is good. I'll be honest, I don't create my content in advance. I did for a while, but for me, it doesn't flow well when I do that. I'm pretty good at coming up with posts. Now for my groups, I do. Otherwise, nothing gets posted in there. But for my page, I've been doing it long enough now. I feel like it comes natural, and I always have stuff to post. But if that's something that you feel like you don't have things to post, then I would create content in advance. Now, I do also, obviously I batch reels. That's content. So if I ever am like, oh crap, I need to put a post up, I don't really have anything, I also have like 20 reels in my phone. So I do create content ahead of time. I just don't necessarily schedule it. Because what I also do is I creep through leaders pages, and I'll just save their posts to like a folder that says day 1 or day 2 or whatever. Because day 2 for us, our team was like funny posts. Day 3 is business posts. So I'll just save their stuff. So I can look at my page. Actually, I can look at it right now, and I can tell you. Well, I say that. Let me see if my Facebook will actually load, because I didn't do it a lot today. Yeah, so I can tell you, I just posted an interactive one because it was just funny. I was like, who else is back online after being off all day? For a second, I thought I was in Facebook jail, LOL. I knew it would get a lot of interaction, posting it like right when Facebook came back. So I was like, why not? I posted a picture of my kid this morning. So there's a day 1. I have the giveaway on there. I've got a video. So naturally, just looking at a few of my posts, the next post I need to post, which will be tomorrow morning, needs to be a business post. Either a business post, like a story of mine, or sharing someone else's story. Doesn't matter. But just I can tell by looking at my page. Now, if you're not, so all I have to do is go to my saved folder, click on day 3, and look, I've got like 25 posts I can draw inspiration from, take it, copy, paste, change a little bit of it, and boom. So a lot of you guys, especially if you're new, you're not going to be to that point. it's taken me 6 years to get to the point where I don't feel like creating content is like, oh, I don't know what to post. So I would say, draft your posts a week in advance. I know Savannah taught how to do this. I'm sure Chelsea and Mandy have stuff on their pages they've taught as well. She sits down once a week and she knows Monday I'm posting this, Tuesday this, Wednesday this. So on the day when it's time to post, she just goes into her folders, copy and paste, and puts it on her page because she's already done it. I still would do that if I didn't plan mine. Yeah, and sometimes I feel like, you know how they talk about different people have different strengths? I feel like content creation, and there's a name for it, but I don't know what it's called because I'm not that smart. But content creation is a strength of mine. That's something that comes pretty naturally, pretty easy to me, like the storytelling and teaching style, where if it doesn't come easy to you, you may always have to plan it. Something that comes easy now, but didn't for a long time for me, is doing live videos. I hated them. I would see like Mandy was always doing videos with her stories or coffee and stuff. And I remember being like, she just like gets on there. She don't even care that like, she'll be like, oh yeah, I haven't brushed my hair in this many days. And you know, I don't know what else. You would just like say stuff about how you were just so real with it. And I would literally take like 45 minutes doing my hair and makeup before I would go live. And then my live would still suck because I didn't have anything to say. So I still have to plan those out or I won't do them. That's why you see them in my journal. So if you know that you either don't like something or you're not particularly good at it, there's nothing wrong with tracking it and planning it out. I think that's the biggest difference between people who don't make it in any business, not just this one, and the ones that do, is we're willing to look at our weaknesses and not be ashamed to say, hey, I need a little extra accountability in this area, so I'm going to create some accountability. So don't be ashamed of it, just own it. There are lots of things that I have to have accountability for. Getting up in the morning is one of them because I don't like to, that I'm not going to be ashamed of, because at the end of the day, regardless if I'm doing it because I'm going to feel guilty if I don't, or if I'm doing it because I enjoy it, I'm still doing it. And that's something that,
Can I add something to that
you're not doing it.
Sorry.
Huh?
Can I add something to that too?
Yeah.
Okay, so also knowing your color personality is really good for this too. This was something that when I started learning like my real color personality in network marketing, I was like, holy smokes, this is why I am the way that I am. And I started being able to pinpoint my strengths. And then when I know when a certain person comes onto my team and they have this other color personality, I know how to better help them. So like Tanya, she's red, but she's got a green side too, right? I'm guessing you're like a red green.
My red and my green are completely tied. They have been since I started.
Yeah. So I'm more of a red yellow. So I've got the, like, I can, you know, hype it up and get all excited about, you know, the money aspect and like your goals and your dreams. I'm very goal driven, but I also have that really sensitive side to me. So if you yell at me, I might cry. Like, that's just how I am, you know? And then Mandy, she's got more of that blue side. And I love it because she does fly by the seat of her pants sometimes, but it works for her a lot of the times too. And then there's certain other aspects of her that she has because of her secondary color. So, you know, really knowing what your color personality is can really help with this. And I think that's on, what's it called? It's called Marcotte. There's like a test.
I just put the link in the chat.
Oh, you're see what I'm talking about? Green right here, baby.
And it's funny because I was not green until college. I was not detail oriented. I had zero time management. Like, I sucked at time management. But when you get thrown into college and you're literally I was a 16-year-old kid that had an addiction problem and was trying to quit cold turkey and came from a family that was pure chaos. I literally, you sink or swim. There's not an option. I had no one telling me to get out of bed in the morning. I had no one telling me to actually show up for class. I had no one telling me like, hey, you probably should turn your papers in, stop being an idiot. So I had to learn all of that. And we didn't have YouTube back then, y'all. I know I sound like a freaking dinosaur when I say that, but I started college in 2006. There was not, I think there was YouTube, but there was like, I didn't have a smartphone. I had a little stupid like flip thingy that didn't have any internet. And I went to a real strict Baptist college. So we didn't have laptops or internet or anything in our rooms. But I learned it and it developed my green. And I used to be really, really blue because I like to party all the time. or not because, but I enjoyed to party all the time. But again, I think just because I switched from that, almost to me, I can't let my blue come out very much, or I completely get lax in a lot of areas. And that's obviously, that's not a blue thing. That's a me not having discipline thing. But I think just because I do have a very addictive personality because of my past, I have to like keep myself sober, but without, and I'm not meaning that in the literal way, but not, if I let myself have too much fun, I will just completely throw everything to the wind, and I don't give a crap about anybody's feelings. I don't care about work. Like, I will just have fun and party all the same time. So it's funny that you say that, because we all have like the things that we're naturally are when it comes to our color, but you can reprogram yourself. And I'm living proof of that. It's not always good, and it's definitely not always easy, but you can do it. You just have to do it. But I think in this business, you don't have to do it unless there's a reason for it. But I would say you probably need to program a little bit of green in you, because I've had people on my team that miss bonuses or miss things because they were so busy being excited about it that they didn't read any of the rules or ask any of the questions. And there was a little technicality that they didn't fill out, and then they were pissed and they left the company. That's on you. It's just like me. Like, if I have people quit because I'm not nice to them, I had to cultivate yellow, because me and my husband both are like negative. No, just kidding. Not in the yellow. He's very yellow. But when it comes to like the sympathetic side of yellow and like the relationship, we're negative. My daughter, we really have to work with, like, because she's a sensitive little child. God knew what he was doing when he gave me her, because holy crap, I have to like relearn my life. She cries about everything. Like, she gets her feelings hurt all the time. And I'm like, seriously, suck it the flipping heck up, child. It's not that big of a deal. But I have to remind myself, like, no, that's not how you treat people. But if I run people off on my team, which I did for a long time, I had to rebuild all the time. That was my fault. That was nobody else's. Like, I had to program myself to have that yellow side. So Matt and you are both red. That's awesome.
Tanya, just quickly, I put that Enneagram, the link to that Enneagram test. But if you guys do it, it'll tell you your number and then tell you have to pay to read more about it. So get your number. And then what I did was just went to Pinterest and searched, I'm an Enneagram 7. So I was like, and I learned all this stuff about what we do for fun, how to respect us, what we're like in relationships, what we do for jobs. And I just got to learn a lot about myself and about my team as well.
We think alike. I think that's the same one I took, because I took it, and as soon as it said I had to pay, I was like, nope, I'm about to go Google what an 8 means. Because I was a 1 wing 8 or an 8 wing 1, I don't remember. But I was like, I'm not paying for this crap. Like, I'm out to go get this information for free. And there's also YouTube videos that you can look up too, like Pinterest, Google, all of those things, even the color ones. Like, it gives you like a paragraph of what you are, but then you can go in depth search on the internet and find like super cool information, and even like celebrities that are your personality, or not personality, but whatever type as well. And it just like really gives you an opening into almost like who you are as a person. But yeah, I'm right on board with Mandy. Don't pay for that crap. Like, as soon as it said that, I was like, I'm not paying for this. Like, I've seen this all over the place. I know I can find this for free. Anyone have any other questions? We've gone a little bit longer than normal, but I feel like it was a lot of good information, so it's okay. Wait. No, I think we're good. Okay. I'm going to end this. It will be posted in the next couple of days, and then you guys are welcome to watch the replay if you're like, dang, I didn't get to write all of it down. All right. Talk to you guys later.